Hello, everybody. This is the Chocolate News Podcast. I'm your co-host, John Alexander Reese.
And I'm your co-host, Andria Carter.
And if you didn't know, the Cincinnati Herald has been around since 1955, and it's the leading African American owned newspaper in the greater Cincinnati area and northern Kentucky area. How's it going, Andrea?
It's going great, John. I mean, it was a wonderful weekend. I was able to celebrate Mother's Day with several friends. It has been a fantastic week. A little slow on the news front, just a little bit, but overall, it is, news-wise, it's fantastic, and I'm having a great day.
Yeah, I was able to take my mom out for Mother's Day, so I call that a successful Mother's Day.
Oh, that is good. That is so good. I love to hear when people celebrate their mothers because, once they're gone, it's hard to celebrate them again. But that's the reason why I celebrated with two friends, and one
Hmm.
friend is a mother. So I was able to spread the love and share the celebration and the warmth and also have some good wine and some popcorn. So, it was a good day.
Yeah. All right. Nice. So what's the chocolate news for the week, Andrea?
Well, it's an interesting week because, we're not having any exciting things occur, but it's follow up to things that have occurred in the past. And the first one, I don't know if everyone's been following the death of the homeless man in New York City in the subway, where
Yeah.
he was choked to death by an ex-Marine. Well, that ex-Marine was charged with manslaughter. And it's kind of sad because we have seen police officers charged in using the chokehold and what it can do. And so David Neely, I believe his name is, he will face second degree manslaughter charges. I'm sorry, Daniel Penny. I don't know where I got
Right.
Neely from. You know what? I mixed the names. I always do that.
Oh,
It's
okay.
Daniel Penny is the Marine. It's Jordan Neely is the victim.
Gotcha.
And reading over this story, you just get worked up over it. That I guess this has affected me a lot more because I messed up the names. But
Right.
I understand he was a do-gooder. He was trying to help out, and he went too far. Depending upon who you talk to, some people think he did a good thing and it was an accident. Other people say he's a Marine, he's trained to kill. And,
Right.
once you have those skills in you, you always have them. And, he held Neely in a chokehold for nearly 15 minutes. And, and Neely died after that incident. Even though the police questioned him and then released him without charges, there was enough protesting and there was enough that there was an investigation by the Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg that he said he would let the grand jury decide, and the grand jury decided to file charges against him. Now, that does not mean that he will be convicted. I think probably when it gets before a jury, they may end up ruling that it was a tragic accident and that he was trying to do good, and unfortunately, he went a little bit overboard. Supposedly, Neely was threatening Penny, and in the altercation, he put him in a chokehold to hold him down, to calm him down, or whatever. Again, we don't know what transpired in those few seconds that ended up with him in the chokehold.
Mm.
We
It's
just don't
just
know what
it's
set it off.
it's just so sad to hear. It really unfortunate situation.
It's unfortunate because a man who is homeless, which is a tragedy in itself, ended up. You shouldn't die because of his behavior, even though he had mental health issues. And I know we have a lot of people on the street who have mental health issues. And some people don't know how to confront them. And even though, you try to call someone down, you have to be careful how you handle them, how you touch them. I think he was trying to do good, even though his life was threatened, to just help out. And unfortunately, even though he was not the initial aggressor, he ended up being the aggressor. And now he's facing manslaughter charges. But
Mm.
I believe that a jury may have pity on him and he may not either, they may not convict him on manslaughter charges, and or if he is convicted, they probably will put him on probation or a something. I don't think a lot will come from this, but I
Yeah.
think you have to go through the process to send a message that if you're going to assist, be careful how you assist, because you could put yourself in this situation, you know,
Yeah.
which is sad. But again, we'll continue to watch it and see what happens. An interesting thing, you know, how many of us still use Twitter? I still look at Twitter.
I
I
do.
read Twitter. I retweet every few days. I retweet.
Yeah.
Um, Elon Musk has named a CEO to Twitter. I've never heard of this woman before, Linda Yaccarino.
Yacarino, I think.
Yaccarino, thank
Yeah.
you. Because I was, you know what? I was putting the stress of the A different way than what you did. So, is that Italian or is that Russian? Or not
Yeah.
Russian,
Yeah. I don't know, actually. That's
or
interesting.
Romanian? Maybe
Could
that's
be.
Romanian.
Could be.
I mean, they always have European names are always interesting and different how they come together and pronounce them and everything like that. And you never want to, I mean, it's like Asian names. You
Yeah.
see them and you're like, you don't want to butcher it because you want to be respectful.
Yeah. Right.
Because, you know, the Asian culture is a very respectful culture. What it doesn't matter if you're Korean or Chinese, Japanese, or Philippine. Everyone is very respectful, and the pronunciations of the names. Some of them are very beautiful, and other ones you're kind of like, how do you say that? You know, but
Right.
you want to make sure you say it right because you want to respect that person. And I
Oh,
just think
I
I think
I
it's just
I I just looked it up. She is of Italian descent, so it's
oh
Italian.
she's Italian.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That doesn't sound Italian to me, but okay.
Yeah.
So, well, Italian. Okay. So she's going to be the new CEO of Twitter. I'm surprised, but not surprised. You know, Elon Musk is, um, he's an interesting business guy.
Yes, he is.
He's very unique. He has questionable issues. And, but when it comes to business, though, I won't say brilliant, but he's exceptional. Because, I mean, what he's doing with Tesla, who is still the number one company in the electronic car market, is despite all of their issues, is fascinating. And you know, I think it's just interesting how he was able to take hold of a new market and run with it. And now he's, you know, he bought Twitter. Well, it says a lot about free speech. So, but for now, I just tweet. I just retweet. It's going to be interesting to see what she does. She's going to be running the day-to-day operations of Twitter, and he's going to be dealing with just content and new tech development, I believe.
Yeah.
And though I'm concerned because Tucker Carlson is supposed to be launching his new show on Twitter.
Yay.
Yeah, I'm just kind of like,
Uh,
okay.
well,
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing. I still will not pay for a blue check mark. So,
Oh,
you
I'm not
know,
doing that.
yeah, exactly. So
Please.
I think you're a fool if you do that, to be honest with you.
It really and truly, I think it's another way that he was hurting for money. His ad revenue was down. He saw a way to make money, and a lot of people saw through his bullshit. Oh, excuse me, saw through his crap, and you know, and people are being very cautious about what they pay for in this climate.
Yeah.
And you know, I'll just pay for another streaming service before I pay for a blue Twitter official
Yeah,
thing.
exactly.
You know, so
But
I mean,
one
my priorities.
yeah, but one thing I have to say about Twitter now is ever since, they let anybody get a blue check mark, it hasn't been as interesting as it was before because usually the people who are verified, they're verified for a reason. Now
Yes.
any John or Jane can get verified. It's just like, whatever. But like I said, I'm still on Twitter because that is like one of the best ways to get like up-to-date news and all that stuff. So,
Well,
I'm still on there.
I'm still on there too, but I also know that I'm only going to go with what I know is legitimate
Yeah.
connections.
Oh
You know,
yeah.
anyone else that says some false crap, I'm just like, no. And
Yeah.
excuse me for using the word crap because I know I could say something else, but we're on the air, so I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to try to be at least a good lady and watch my mouth because my mother would be appalled if I said something different. Anyway, an interesting thing has occurred with the IRS because Biden got through both Congress and the Senate the Reduction Act. They added more money to fund the IRS. So the IRS is going through a major upgrade of services, a platform, everything. And when you think of the IRS, you're like, oh God, I don't want to pay any more taxes. Oh God, I have to extend. Oh God, I'm still dealing with my taxes because I had to file for an extension. But anyway, but what's really irking folks in the tax space is the fact that IRS is creating their own tax prep business, and they're going to make it free for
Mm,
everyone to use.
okay.
And the folks who have been making money in this space, like Intuit, HR Block, Jackson, Hewitt, all the other tax services, they've been lobbying hard to prevent this from happening.
Oh, yes.
Because who wants to pay for go through, use the software, and then you have to pay to upload your taxes, which is supposed to be free. And the IRS is kind of like, look, paying taxes is supposed to be free. No one, and there's been a number of lawsuits, and I will state up front, I was part of the one against not Tax Act, but the other one. What is the other one? Tax.
TurboTax?
Yeah, TurboTax. That where they were charging for everything that you wanted to upload and do with your IRS taxes, and I joined in on that lawsuit, and they settled.
Mm,
And I'm not going to get back what I paid, but
yeah.
It's the principle of the thing that I changed software, because I'm like, why do I have to first pay for your software? Then why are you charging me? Because if I don't have money up front to pay for, if I don't have money right away to pay for you to upload my stuff to the platform, then, if I say deferred, take it out of my refund. If I get a refund, why did it tack on all kinds of fees on my refund other than what it just costs you to have delay me or upfront me my money? It was just like they were taking most of the refund.
Right.
And a lot of people got caught up in that stuff, and then someone finally sued and made it a class action act. I'm all about making money. I'm all about a good business model, but I'm not about taking people's money all
Yeah.
the time. And I don't believe in every step of the way charging someone a fee. I understand there's a fee for processing. Look, there's a fee that stores pay every single time you use their card processing unit. There's a fee. And I understand that. But at the same time, don't take all my money. Everyone
Yeah.
works hard for the money, especially us folks who don't make under 50,000 or under 20,000. We work hard for what we got. Don't take it. So I applaud the IRS for taking the initiative that they are addressing customers' needs. And, there is a lot that you can do in the taxes, but if they can provide their own tax prep company, which is easy access to all of the tax things and not be held behind a paywall, I'm all for it. So
Oh, yeah.
I applaud the government for doing something right for once on behalf of the people so they can collect our money a lot faster and easier. So it's both a wrong and a right, so to speak. But I applaud them.
Oh, yeah.
And
Most
then,
definitely.
and then also, I want to let everybody know, but there is another issue going on of where be careful of your filing your taxes, or even if you've done extension. The IRS is targeting more Black people for audits
Of
than ever
course.
before. So that story has come out. I think we'll have that story up on our website soon. It's just a forewarning. Be aware that don't be surprised if you get an audit after all these years of not having an audit. So just be careful, keep your stuff right, and go from there. At the end of I have two final stories. One is about mainstream media. We're almost into re-election season for federal offices. So Biden is announced that he's running for re-election. So that means Kamala's right there along with him. There's an article that we have on our website about mainstream media bias against Kamala Harris. She has done a lot of good work behind the scenes. She has represented the United States in a number of crucial meetings and conferences in Europe, or well, I should say around the world. And she's done a lot of firsts. She's supported to move the agenda forward in the Senate when there was a lock in the Senate. But the mainstream media keeps pushing down what she does. They're not giving her any credit for accomplishing anything, but they are like when she was in Paris and she went on a shopping trip, she bought a pot for $375, and they're like, how dare you do that? You know, we got people, hurting in America. How dare you buy an expensive pot? Well, she makes the money. She can do that stuff.
Yes, how dare you?
And
How
on top
dare
of that,
you?
she actually cooks.
Yeah,
She actually cooks. I mean, come
yeah,
on, she doesn't cook as much, but
yeah,
I mean, the fact that she bought let's put it like this: everyone who goes off on a trip and they buy whatever, who do you know buys a cooking pot?
yeah.
The woman cooks. You
Exactly.
know,
I just think that's ridiculous. Like not the fact that she bought, expensive pan, but when people say, why would you spend that much money? And just like, it's your money. You can do whatever you want with it. It's
right,
like, I know Kylie Jenner bought like a Lamborghini. It was like $1 million, but am I going to say she shouldn't have bought that? I'm just like, she did what she wanted. She made the
right,
money. I'm just
right.
like,
And my thing is, but they've been the media has been henpecking Kamala. There have been whisper campaigns. There have been ignoring everything because they're afraid if Biden is reelected, anything happens to Biden, Kamala's in charge. And they want to downplay what she does. And I'm like, you're concentrating on the wrong issues.
yep.
At the end of the day, I mean, if you look at, there were a lot of midterm elections yesterday, state level. And I've been watching the political pundits, and I got a glimpse of a conversation before we started recording the show. And mainly, voters are looking at what is happening, and you know what? They're turning their backs on crazy, left and right. Independents are winning. Dems are winning where they didn't win before, and that basically the voters are like, "We're tired. We want you to govern. Cut the crap. Take care of what our needs are." And if you're not, and I think if people don't wake up and smell the coffee, I think we're going to see a rude awakening in the 2024 election. I think we'll see a rude awakening in the election coming up for state level and local. And I think we're going to see a rude awakening next year because people are tired. They're tired of the crap. They're tired of people not looking at reality. And they're tired of lies trying to become truths.
Mm,
And I think people are walking away. And, and hopefully young people will vote more. That's one thing.
yeah.
But, they're tired. But anyway, the final thing, the President Biden has selected a black fighter pilot to be the next chairman of the Joint Chief of Staff.
Love it.
If he is approved, it's a 4-star general. It's the Air Force Chief of Staff General Charles Quentin Brown Jr., who was actually an Air Force pilot, and he looks really nice in his uniform. I'm sorry, but I'm doing a woman moment. He's going to be the next chairman of the Joint Chief of Staff, but he'll be the second black man to be the next chairman of the Joint Chief of Staff. And he's very qualified. He has run several commands in Europe. He's held a number of positions. He has been part of our security from day one, keeping us safe. And he's very, very, very qualified. And I think it's fantastic that we will have another guy who is not only feels the need for speed, but he knows how to get down and dirty and fight. And he has the strategy to do it, and he is willing to lead folks to do it and keep our defenses strong and straight. So, I applaud Biden on this, and I think it's going to be fantastic to see. And I'll just say he looks very great in his uniform, and especially he looks great sitting on top of his airplane. It's just nice, just nice. Anyway, that is all the chocolate news I have for today.
Okay. Also, we want to highlight some of the summer movies and some TV series representing, black leads and everything. So I think it's going to be like a great summer. So like right now, obviously we have TV shows. We got the docudrama Queen Cleopatra. That's on Netflix
Yes,
right now. And then we
yes,
also have Queen Charlotte. and that's also on Netflix. Now, the latter is a Bridgerton spinoff, so I don't watch Bridgerton, but my girlfriend absolutely loves Bridgerton. So those are two things to check out. And then
Oh yes,
also,
I have it on my checklist to binge watch, so I will be binge watching soon because I've
mm,
heard some great things about it. So
oh yeah, and then also at your local cinema, The Little Mermaid comes out next week. And
yes,
that has been gaining some controversy because it's a black actress instead of a white actress. But I also want to let people know that mermaids do not exist. Mermaids are fiction, so a mermaid should be whatever color they want to be. So I just want to put that out there. And also, the story takes place in the Caribbean, so just wanted to let people know that too.
yeah.
Just
I
letting
mean,
people know.
if people really think Caribbean, closer to the sun, you're gonna
Exactly.
tan. That means there's gonna be a little hue there, whether dark or light, a little
Yes.
caramel. I'll even say caramel. Come on,
Yes. Exactly.
wake up and smell the coffee. Not everything can be one thing.
Exactly.
As much as people want it to be. I think it's gonna be wonderful. I think it's gonna be great. Bravo on Disney. I think it's just fantastic.
And
So
also, kudos to Halle Bailey because
yes,
I saw her sing in the trailer and she was singing "Part of Your World" and it sounded absolutely fantastic, just as good as who is the voice actress for Ariel? Jodie Benson. So she sounded just as good as Haley Jodie Benson, probably even a little better. I know that might be sacrilegious, but
oh,
I'm gonna call it out.
oh,
So I
you,
can't wait to see the Little Mermaid.
I can't wait to see it either. So I'll
And
have to go and see it.
and
So I'm looking
also
forward to it.
Yeah, and also we got Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. That's the animated Spider-Man, the sequel to Into the Spider-Verse. And if you've never seen Into the Spider-Verse, it is actually a really good film. I'm talking about like probably one of the best animated films I have ever seen. It's that good. And
Really,
yes, and it's got the Black Spider-Man in there, Miles Morales. So that's also pretty good. And like I said, the first film was spectacular, won an Oscar for Best Anime Feature. Cannot wait to see this movie. It looks fantastic.
I'm forgive me, but I have to catch up with Marvel and the Spider Universe.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
I mean, my hairdresser was getting on me because I hadn't seen John Wick 4. So I mean, come
Oh,
on.
that John Wick 4 is fantastic. You have to see that as soon as possible.
Well, she showed me a snippets of it. I think she showed me a trailer or something. I was like,
Right.
I know I have to go see that. I'm
Yes.
behind on my movie going and movie watching, but one movie that I did see as part of my Mother's Day celebration, we went to see Chevalier. Chevalier. How is that
Yes.
pronounced? Chevalier.
Xavier, let's say that.
Chevalier.
Yes.
Chevalier.
Yes.
And it is, yes, it's they, it's classical music, yes it is, but trust me on this, ignore the music part of it, even though it's beautiful.
Yes.
The brother who plays the lead, ladies, if you want some eye candy, see this film. If you're looking for social justice arguments and discussion because it's pre-French Revolution, go see this film. Because the age-old argument between black and white, especially black men with white women, even in before the French Revolution, same old issue. And it is unbelievable. I mean, my friends and we were sitting there and we are like, the more it changes, the more it stays the same. Oh my God, this is such an old argument. I mean, it's
Mm,
an old argument. They were able to get away with a lot more back then than they
right.
could now. Or at least in America, they can't get away with a lot they pulled off in the French Revolution. But it is the story around this young man. He created the music for the beginning of the French Revolution to inspire liberté. And he eventually was killed by a mob. He was friends with Marie Antoinette until he did something that she didn't like, threatened her livelihood. And
Mm,
of course, she did what usually women who are mad do.
yeah.
And but what's interesting is that he helped lead part of the French Revolution. But eventually he got on the wrong side of Bonaparte, and Bonaparte destroyed most of his music. So that's the
Mm,
reason why there's not that much of his music around to be played. But
gotcha.
people have discovered his story and what little of his music is around. They do play it at the end of the film. And
Mm,
it's beautiful, it's haunting. He outdid Mozart. He's
wow.
that good. And I just think that it is a great film to inspire everyone who is looking to be empowered. You may not think so, but once you get past how they talk, what they wear, and things like that, and you look at the bare bones of the story, you can relate to the bare bones of the story and apply it today and be inspired by what has occurred and how this man stood up for himself despite the odds and what he faced to survive and win and thrive before he was unfortunately killed. But I
Gotcha.
mean, it's a very socially conscious film that has some great classical music in it. But that's a side bit.
Mm.
Truth, empowerment, and a gorgeous black man is a wonderful story. So
And just a
I'm
couple
sorry.
more. No, you're fine. No, I definitely want to see this movie. I'll try to head over to the Marymount Theater to see it if I can.
Oh yeah.
Um, but also, and another movie, The Blackening, which I saw last night at a advanced screening. Andrea, this movie is absolutely hilarious. It's a horror comedy movie. It's about seven black friends who go away for the weekend. And they find themselves trapped in a cabin with a killer who has a vendetta. They got to pit their street smarts and knowledge of horror movies against the murderer to stay alive. But it's one of the funniest films I've seen all year.
That almost sounds like a Black Agatha Christie movie. Only it's
Yeah,
a comedy.
yeah, it is hilarious. I just say and it comes out Juneteenth weekend too. So
Oh, really?
yep. So you gotta see it. It is hilarious. It is so funny. I was in stitches. My dad was with me. He told me today that it was one of the funniest films he's seen this year too. So
And it's a
I
horror
definitely,
film.
yeah, it's a horror comedy movie. More comedy, but like I said, there are a couple of brutal kills in that movie. But it is so funny.
But okay, here's one thing. Usually
Yes,
in the horror film, the first person to die is a black person.
yes,
So, but this is a black horror film
yeah.
comedy.
But the tagline is like they can't kill us all at once. So
Oh,
that's the
okay.
tagline on the poster. But
Oh,
it's really good though. I guarantee it. I think you and I think a lot of people have a good time watching that film.
okay.
And final film I want to talk about is Equalizer 3. Denzel's back as what's the character's name? Robert McCall.
He's
He's
back.
uh he's back
Oh,
September 1st, which I think that's Labor Day weekend. So
yes.
I love the first two Equalizer movies. So this one should be just as good as the previous two.
Isn't he a bad? Isn't he's a badass good guy?
Yes, because he was a government assassin, but he gave up on the life, and now he's just living in solace and serving justice for the oppressed. I think now in this movie he's living in southern Italy, but it's like you're in southern Italy, you got to deal with the crime bosses, mafia. So
Oh,
he's
does he
taking on
speak?
he's taking on. I'm sorry,
Does he speak Italian in this?
probably, probably.
Denzel Washington speaking Italian. Oh,
So that should
okay.
be a good movie.
Number one is Denzel Washington. I don't
Oh, of
care.
course,
So
of course.
it's
He's one.
Denzel.
He's one of the greatest.
Oh yes, but I mean it's Denzel. I mean
Yes.
he's like Denzel is like those certain stars are like Cher, Barbara, Rocky, Sylvester Arnold, all those top pop culture esque type of
Right.
folks, but you know them by their name,
Right.
and Denzel is just Denzel.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not like Samuel Jackson, but it's not. Samuel Jackson can't just be Sam Jackson or Samuel. It's Samuel Jackson. You have to say the
Yeah.
whole name because
Yeah.
he's that synonymous. And
Yeah.
his movie repertoire is so vast.
Oh yeah.
It's unbelievable. But okay, that's something to look forward to in September. We'll have to come back
Yeah.
to that.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely, definitely.
um,
So those are just some of the movies featuring black leads that are coming out this summer. So make sure to check them
Also,
out.
oh, you know what else is going to be interesting this summer? That I've noticed, but I have not spoken about on the Hallmark Channel. Yes, I watch the Hallmark Channel.
Okay, that's fair.
But what has happened is, Hallmark is expanding their reach,
Really?
and they're now doing movies based off the Mahogany line of their greeting
Oh,
cards.
okay.
And they're, again, it's a little based on the sappy rom com stuff,
Yeah, yeah,
only it's black.
yeah.
And also their other brand, the Dayspring line, which is Christian esque Dayspring line, they're doing movies as well, which is expanding the basic boy meets girl, boy loses girl, boy gets girl back type of rom
Mm,
com. It's
gotcha.
more than that. It's more expressive, and they're doing more trilogies and some other stuff. And I just wanted to let folks know, just don't just get stuck in this, and this. There's some great Hallmark is doing some great things with Mahogany line, and there's some nice decent esque movies that usually remember the old TV movies
Yeah,
ABC would
yeah,
do that.
yeah.
It's sort of they've elevated that style to a better style.
Okay. All
Um,
right.
and then also look at Netflix has some new shows that have come online, not just American but African shows. And
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna have to do a list because
Yeah.
there are a few of them that look really good. Or there's some older shows that are Canadian or Korean that are
Right.
very
Yeah.
funny as well. So maybe that's something that we need to take a look at and talk about, that expanding our TV or broadcast watching palette.
Okay. All
And
right.
there's more, but I would say start with what we said, and
Yeah.
we'll have to just come back and explore more. So
Okay. All right. Cool. Well, thank you, Andrea, for all the chocolate news this week. Greatly appreciate it.
you're welcome.
And folks, you can find more information about today's topics and past podcast episodes at www.thecincinnatiherald.com, the Sesh newsletter, or on our social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And make sure to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite podcast app. Our podcast is on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn Radio, Amazon, YouTube, and Google Podcast. In addition, the Cincinnati Herald is now looking for news distribution and delivery agents. Please contact our publisher, Walter White, at 513-680-7076 for more information. Oh, and before I forget, folks, it's that time of year again, owning it time, Ohio
Yes.
2023. So if you're looking for a house, it's time to get a house. If you want more information about it, click the link. There's an ad on our website. There's a link on our social media. If you're interested in that, go ahead and register for it.
I would just say that I have attended like two or three owning it seminars over the years.
Right.
And I'm going to be looking for a house next year, but it's a great, I would say, from a person who has needed to clean up some things before I can even consider getting a house. It is great wealth of information on what we need to do, what we need to focus on, and before you take the next step to explore what are you eligible for and what you can get. And it has helped me a lot to clean up some stuff or get things to a point of where my credit rating has gone up that I could be considered for a loan. And I'm
Mm,
just saying it is, even though you might think, oh God, it's boring thing. It's not boring. It is great information. And I swear to God by it. And so I'll soon be taking that next step to talk to a realtor about what do I qualify for. It's I'm almost to that point. So I credit owning it for helping me get to that point. And it's not because we're advertising, it's because it's honest to God truth. It's helping me get to what my dream of owning something.
right.
And I think it's incredible. So I welcome
Yeah.
everyone to register and just enjoy the class.
I'm John Alexander Reese,
And I'm Andrea Carter.
and have a good day.